Welcome home, Heartland family. You're watching UK Pulse, where stories don't just unfold on screens. They wrap around our hearts, linger in our memories, and stay with us long after the credits roll. I'm your host, Asim, and today's episode isn't just another breakdown. It's a love letter to resilience, a tribute to faith, and above all, it's a moment we've all been dreaming of. Because today something extraordinary has happened. We're talking about Ty Borden's return in Heartland Season 19, Episode 1, and no, this isn't some fleeting flashback or dream sequence. This is real. This is raw. This is the moment that has turned whispered hopes into joyful sobs and silent prayers into something beautifully tangible. Ty is back, and with him comes the heartbeat of the story we never stopped believing in. This isn't just a plot twist. It's a full-circle miracle. It's the echo of a love that transcended loss and time. It's Amy finally standing face-to-face with the other half of her soul. It's Lindy getting to see her father not in pictures, not in stories, but in the flesh. And for those of us who've walked this emotional journey with the Fleming Bartlett family, it feels like coming home. We're going to walk through every moment that stole our breath, every look that said more than words ever could, every pause, every tear, every small act of grace that made this episode unforgettable. Because Heartland isn't just a TV show, it's a shared experience, a sanctuary, a reminder that love, no matter how battered or buried, always finds its way back. So before we dive in, I invite you to like, comment, and subscribe to Next Kind. Because here, we don't just analyze what's on screen. We feel it. We mourn with it. We celebrate with it. We hold space for every character and for every one of you who's ever found comfort in this story. Now, go grab your favorite cozy blanket, maybe that mug of tea you always reach for during the emotional episodes, and yes, bring the tissues. All of them. Because what we're about to witness isn't just storytelling. It's healing. It's hope. And it's proof that sometimes the heart does find its way back home. The opening of Season 19, Episode 1, is like a love letter to Heartland itself. It's quiet, it's aching, and it's filled with an almost unbearable sense of waiting. We see the ranch bathed in early morning light, the dew clinging to the grass, the horses grazing in the distance, and in every frame, there's this unspoken feeling that something is missing, someone is missing. Amy is in the barn, her hands moving in practiced rhythm as she tends to the horses' Spartan, included each motion steady, deliberate, familiar. But beneath the calm efficiency is a storm she keeps locked away, buried behind the gentle smile she offers the animals. Her hands are sure, but her eyes, they tell another story. A silent ache lives there. Not loud, not obvious, just a quiet, ever-present grief that clings like morning fog. A grief she's learned to live with, but never learned to let go of. On the front porch, Jack Bartlett sits in his usual place, hat tilted low over his eyes, a carving knife in one hand and a block of wood in the other. The shape he's carving doesn't really matter. It's more about the feel of the knife in his hand, the rhythm of movement that helps keep the memories at bay. But today, even that comfort feels hollow. His gaze is distant, fixed on the horizon as if he's waiting for someone. Not expecting. Just hoping. Like maybe, just maybe, he'll see a familiar silhouette come walking down that dusty road. Inside, Lou's trying to stay ahead of the whirlwind. Calls, emails, meetings, the usual chaos she thrives on. But today, her sharp focus has a tremble around the edges. Her tone is clipped, a little too brisk, like she's trying to outrun a sadness she doesn't dare stop to feel. Even her fast-tapping fingers on the laptop can't drown out the sense that something is missing. And outside, little Lindy dances through the fields, barefoot and laughing, as she chases butterflies with the abandon only a child can carry. She doesn't see the sorrow, not in full, but she feels it like a subtle chill in the summer air. Her laughter rings out, a bell of light in the heaviness that hangs over Heartland like an unspoken prayer. The writers are careful, subtle. They don't scream what's coming. They whisper it. A faded photo tucked gently inside Amy's journal. A leather jacket Ty used to wear still hanging quietly by the door. His old mug on the kitchen shelf never moved. These are not just memories, they're placeholders. As if the ranch itself has been holding its breath, waiting for something the world said would never come. And then, on a day so ordinary it should have slipped by unnoticed, everything changes. Amy is alone in the barn, brushing Spartan's mane, humming softly something familiar and aching. She's thinking of nothing and everything all at once. Just another quiet afternoon. The kind she's lived through 100 times. But then there are footsteps. Slow, steady, unhurried. She doesn't turn at first, just smiles faintly, assuming it's Jack. Or maybe time. Back already? She says over her shoulder. But then a voice answers. A voice she hasn't heard in years except in her dreams. Amy. Her whole body freezes. The brush slips from her hand, landing in the straw without a sound. Her breath catches, the silence roaring in her ears. She turns slowly, as if afraid that looking too fast might make the moment vanish. And there he is. Ty? Older, weathered by years and distance, but unmistakably him. His eyes meet hers, filled with tears and disbelief and so much love it nearly crushes her. For a heartbeat, time itself forgets to move. Then she steps forward, just one trembling step. She breathes, the word crumbling into emotion. It's not just his name. It's every silent night, every unanswered prayer, every part of her heart that never stopped beating for him. And then he's there, holding her. She collapses into his arms, sobbing, shaking, laughing through tears she never thought she'd get to cry. For the first time in so long, she feels whole. Like her soul had been missing a piece she'd finally found again. Later, as the sun begins to set and the ranch glows in soft gold, Amy and Ty sit on the back porch. They don't say much at first. Just sitting, breathing, trying to believe that this isn't a dream. And then Ty speaks, his voice raw, fragile. He tells her everything. How the shooting didn't take him, but something else did, a world of secrets and fear. A government program designed to keep him alive by erasing who he was. He didn't choose to disappear. He chose to survive. For her. For Lindy. He tells her about the years he spent alone, clutching a worn photo of their family, whispering her name to the stars. He says there were nights he almost gave up. But the thought of Amy, of Lindy's laugh, of Heartland, those things pulled him through. Amy listens, her hand locked in his, her tears falling freely. Not tears of pain. Not anymore. Tears of understanding. Of healing. Because he never stopped loving her. And she never stopped waiting. And then, with a voice choked in emotion, he whispers, I never stopped coming home to you, even if it was only in my dreams. Amy breaks, her sob catching in her throat as she leans into him, clinging to him like the lifeline he is. Not far off, Lindy is brushing her pony in the yard when she sees him. At first, it's just a shadow, a figure in the sun. But something inside her knows before her mind can catch up. Her little heart skips a beat. And then she runs. She runs with everything she has, through dust and grass and memory. She crashes into Ty with the force of 1,000 dreams coming true. Daddy, she sobs, her voice full of disbelief and joy. Ty falls to his knees, his arms around her, tears soaking into her hair as he holds her close, closer than he ever thought possible again. Behind them, Jack watches, silent, still, His chest rises with a heavy breath. His eyes glisten. And when he places his weathered hand on Ty's shoulder, nothing needs to be said. Ty was gone. But now he's home. "You found your way back, son," Jack finally said, his voice low and hoarse. That's all that matters now. There was no judgment, no demand for explanation, just the acceptance of a man who understood that love sometimes meant just being there when it counted. From the porch, Lo stood frozen, her coffee mug forgotten, fingertips trembling against the ceramic. When she saw Ty, her breath caught in her throat like a sob trapped in amber. Her heart ricocheted inside her chest, fighting between disbelief and fragile, aching hope. She had mourned him, truly mourned him for Amy, for Lindy, and for the pieces of their family that had never quite healed. Seeing him now felt like watching a ghost materialize, not just in body, but in spirit. Her practical mind screamed that it couldn't be real, but her soul had already begun to believe. With shaky legs, she descended the steps one at a time. Her eyes locked with Ty's, searching his face, tracing every familiar line, every scar. When she finally reached him, she didn't ask questions. Instead, she opened her arms and pulled him into a fierce, bone-deep hug. "Welcome home, Ty," she whispered, her voice breaking. "We missed you more than you'll ever know." And just like that, the years of pain and confusion gave way to something stronger, faith in the unexplainable. From the edge of the yard, Georgie stood in stunned silence. She was older now, shaped by her own heartbreaks and victories, carrying a tough exterior forged through years of challenge. But when she saw Ty standing there, something inside her, some part of the girl who once idolized him, cracked open. She didn't move at first. She needed to see him. Really see him. But when Ty's familiar, steady gaze met hers and held it, the dam broke. She sprinted toward him, letting out a laugh that tangled with a sob, and flung herself into his arms. "You have no idea how much I needed this," she choked, clutching him like the big brother she'd never stopped missing. Ty smiled, resting his cheek against her hair. For Georgie, who had spent years proving she didn't need anyone, letting herself fall into that embrace was nothing short of healing. Behind them, leaning against the barn door with arms crossed and jaw clenched, Tim watched in silence. His body was still, but inside he was unraveling. Grief had shaped him into a fortress, and Ty's absence had carved a wound too deep for words. But now, standing just yards away, was the son-in-law he never got the chance to fully say goodbye to. Tim's eyes glistened, but his pride kept them at bay. He pushed off the barn and approached slowly. When Ty turned toward him, there was a long pause, thick with everything they couldn't say. Finally, Tim clapped a hand on Ty's back hard but steady. "Took you long enough," Jack muttered gruffly, his voice rough as gravel but thick with feeling. Ty smiled, the corners of his eyes crinkling as he took in the man who had once been his harshest critic and had become his greatest champion. He heard everything Jack wasn't saying in those 4 simple words. "I missed you. I'm proud of you. I love you like my own." As night wrapped the Heartland ranch in its quiet embrace and a blanket of stars shimmered above the barn, the world outside seemed to fall away. Inside, time slowed to a hush. Amy and Ty stood beneath the lantern's soft golden glow, the air between them charged with memories, regrets, and a love that never truly let go. Amy leaned against the stall door, her fingers brushing the smooth, familiar wood. Her gaze searched his face like she was rediscovering a language she'd once spoken fluently, the curve of his jaw, the pain behind his eyes, the quiet strength in his posture. She looked at him not just with love, but with a kind of reverence, as if he were a ghost come to life. Her voice broke the silence, trembling but resolute. "Why did you stay away so long?" Ty stepped forward, shadows moving with him. His eyes held the weight of 1,000 sleepless nights. I thought I was protecting you, he said, barely above a whisper. I thought disappearing would keep you and Lindy safe. I tried to be noble, but in the end, I just left behind the only people who ever made me feel whole. Amy's tears fell freely now, not just from pain, but from the magnitude of everything they had lost and everything they still stood to reclaim. She reached up and touched his cheek, her hand trembling as it met skin she had only held in dreams. I never stopped loving you, she said, the words full of every sleepless night, every unanswered question, every ounce of hope she'd clung to like a lifeline. Ty drew her into his arms slowly, tenderly as if she were something sacred and breakable. If you'll have me, he whispered, his voice cracking, I want to come home. To you. To Lindy. To the life we were building before it all fell apart. Amy nodded through her tears, her lips trembling, but her heart finally steady. I want that too, Ty. More than you'll ever know. And in the quiet sanctuary of that barn, surrounded by hay, horse stalls, and the ghosts of every moment they thought they'd lost, they began again. Not from where they left off, but from a deeper, truer place. A place shaped by pain, but rebuilt by love. Their kiss wasn't hurried or desperate. It was slow, certain, and full of all the things words couldn't say. It was the kiss of two people who had walked through fire, only to find each other still standing on the other side. It held promises of healing, whispers of forgiveness, and the kind of future that doesn't just resume but begins again with purpose. And so ends this emotional chapter of Heartland Season 19, Episode 1T, Borden's Miraculous Return, and the reunion that brought us all to our knees. It wasn't just a twist. It was a homecoming. A reminder that even after the deepest wounds, love always knows the way back. I truly hope you felt every heartbeat and tear right along with me as we explored these unforgettable moments. Ty's return is more than just a plot twist. It's a reminder of the power of love, family, and second chances. If this video stirred your heart, reignited your love for Heartland, or brought even a single tear to your eye, I invite you to like, comment, and subscribe to Next Scene, your home for stories that don't just entertain, but leave a mark on your soul. This channel isn't just about recaps. It's a place where fans like us come together to feel deeply, to honor the characters we've grown up with, and to celebrate the moments that remind us why we fell in love with Heartland in the first place. I'd truly love to hear your voice. How did you react when Ty walked back into Amy's life? Which scene hit you the hardest? And what are you most hoping for as this new season unfolds? Your thoughts, your tears, your stories, they matter here. I read every single comment, and they're the heartbeat of this community. And don't forget to tap that notification bell so you're always the first to know when the next emotional journey begins, because trust me, we're just getting started. Expect more deep dives, behind-the-scenes gems, and moments that will make you laugh, cry, and believe again. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here, for feeling with me, for believing in second chances, in enduring love, and in the magic of stories that stay with us long after the credits roll. Until next time, take care of your heart, hug your loved ones a little tighter, and never forget, wherever you go, a little piece of Heartland goes with you. See you soon, family.